We are back, and today we are going to be starting our first ever tutorial on this channel. We'll be jumping into iOS and Firebase and authenticating users by signing in and signing them up. And then later we might add into checking for verified users, forgetting a password, and even logging out, which is pretty simple, just a few lines of code. So let's get right into it. If you open up an Xcode, click Get Started, or you just click the Create a New Project, where it will pop up here in this view. You should be pretty loose with Xcode by now. This isn't a beginner's guide. I'm not going to be going over every element. I'm actually going to be working on a course later for that, where I'll be going on a beginner's guide. Here, you should be pretty well into Xcode and know what you're doing. So let's just start building our app right away. We're going to call this social network. You can call it whatever you want. Don't worry about the other fields. Doesn't really matter if we use, we're going to use Storyboard for this. You can use Swift UI, but I haven't gotten too much into Swift UI as Xcode 11 is just launched out. Make sure you save that somewhere. I just saved it on my desktop. And then we've got our project created. You didn't need to create any UI tests since it's just going to be a really basic, very basic application. We'll go into our storyboard. We're going to be creating a couple views here. We're going to create a main view that a user will actually launch and open when they first open the app. And then we will also have sign up view and a sign in view. And in all of these views, if you sign up or you sign in, they'll take us to our actual welcome view where the user can go through whatever this application would be. So first, we're just going to build a very simple view. We're probably going to embed this with a navigation controller just for simplicity of navigating back and forth through the different views. So I'm just going to click up here, go into our editor, embed in, and then we're going to create that nice little navigation controller. So this will be our first view when the user actually first opens the app. Set that background. We're going to set a background. We're not going to be working with dark mode or light mode or any of that. And I have picked a few colors that I'll be using throughout the application. You can certainly choose whatever you want. I will add each of these colors into the description below so you don't have to type each one out. You can just copy and paste. Perfect. All right, so we're going for a little nice light blue. We actually don't need a top bar. There it is. Let's just add in some labels in here, and then we'll add in a couple buttons and see how our view looks. So we got our welcome. I'm just going to call this welcome to. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a label that is actually 2 lines. How you do that is you will start off by typing, and then you can hold Option Enter, and it'll start a new line, and we'll just type in our app name. Boom. If you look, we only have 1 line, and how to fix that little thing is if we go over to the right, click lines, and make sure lines is at 0, since we're not setting us a value. And then make sure our text is centered. Boom. We'll just this. I usually make sure just the Helvetica News on, and we're gonna make our font size. I'm gonna go with 48. Going to have to expand this a bit more. Perfect. And then we can just add that just anywhere really. We're not going to be messing with any constraints. So we're going to change the color of our label. I'm going to go with a 26 pattern. Again, these colors are in the description below, so make sure to check that out if you want to use them. Of course, you can use this any way you want. We're just setting up quick little navigation. I will have a couple titles on the page where you can skip ahead if you've already set up your app or you've already set up your views. I'll add in a couple on the text on the video that'll tell you where to skip to so you know how to get started. Now we're going to add in just a couple buttons. Let's just get this set up. We're going to go, I want to say 300 width by 55 pixels high. That's a bit too high. 50. Perfect. And then let's see. So we got our buttons here. If you want to see how many pixels it is far away, you can just hold Option and then hover over your object. I'm going to go up a bit. About 43, 41, and 40. And then we can just add 5 to that. 6. Is that 59? Perfect. All right. It's still a bit too much. 674. Perfect. All right, and so this right here is going to be our sign in button. Essentially, it's just great for user flow. User can just quickly click that button. We could have just created this so it was 2 views, or just one where there were 2 buttons and then just 2 text fields, but I want to go a bit more with like an actual app flow that is actually out there. And this one is going to be the one that we hold a border in. First, let's adjust some of the font here. 17, it should be 24, 22. Perfect. And then again, we do have that color that we're choosing. And now I'm just going to create the other 2 views very quickly. They're both going to be very similar. We're not going to mess with just one view. We're going to mess with 2 other ones. Let's see. Our top view is going to be our sign in. And this one we can just leave with 1 line. This is going to be our sign up. We are going to work with a little bit of storage here, or a database, I mean, here, where we are going to store the email address and the user full name. We're just going to store that for each user in their own unique user identifier. So we'll just keep that in the same area. This navigation will be going as a show, along with this navigation. Opaque. We don't really need. Just gonna change this bar tint real quick. Perfect. And as well the background color. Even more perfect. All right. So we got this set up. Good question why it's not working. So our back button here does not seem to want to function. So all right, and I'm just going to change that back button so there's no title, and then I'm going to add a tint to this. Let's say, let's just go with that dark blue we had. Yeah, that should be good. Now let's add in those text fields. Text field, oops. Boom. And this is just going to contain 2 different text fields. This is going to be our password on the bottom and email address on the top. Yeah, we're not going to make this look too pretty, so I do apologize if you are going by this and I just keep undoing some changes. So we have set up everything except our actual code. So let's set up the actual views now. All right, let's see. We're gonna create a folder here, or a group, and this one is going to hold, we'll just call it auth for authentication. We'll put that right above. And so we need to create 3 new files. We need to create our welcome view controller, our sign in, and then our sign up. So let's just quickly create those files. So this is just going to be these are just view controllers set up as a view. Then we need our own sign in view controller. And then we also need a sign up view controller. Along with this, I am going to create a file that will be a Swift file. This will be our extensions file. Oh, and we messed that one up. All right, sorry, we can just rename. This is going to be our extensions file. We're gonna import UI kit here. And this is, I'm gonna set up the quick colors right now. So if we do an extension for a color, this is so we know when we work with the actual colors later on. So UI color, and then we're just gonna make this a public static var light background. So we'll go main light background. And this was just a regular UI color. We can go with just, there's no X, so we'll go back into it. Back into the file, we need to grab that color that we had set for our background. Let's quickly get the custom, perfect, and then we'll just go right back into our extensions, and we'll just plop in those numbers, 242, 249, and 254, and then alpha we'll just set as 1. Now we'll set up another color here, our public static var. This will be our main blue. Just set that up again. Boom. And we need to grab that once again. So this is our blue right here. Perfect. Back into the extensions file. So we have a 64 divided by 255. We have a 128 divided by 255, and we have a 242 divided by 255, and of course a 1.0. Perfect. So now we've got our files set up. Let's connect those. Let's add in the items. We'll create our new Firebase project. We'll connect it, and then we'll move on to video number 2, where we'll actually jump into the code. So if you are already connected with all this and you want to get into the code of building it, skip ahead to video 2 of this tutorial. So this is going to be our welcome view controller, and over here on the left you see we just have a regular view controller. You can just delete that, and then at the top we have our sign in view controller, and then at the bottom we have our sign up view controller. Perfect. Now what we'll do, we'll just set up a couple of values here. You can add in a new view. This will be our main storyboard on the left, and then we'll just grab our auth. Let's start off with a welcome. We're going to add in just a couple here. This is just a standard way of adding items into your file. So if you hold Control and then click, hold, and drag while holding Control and drag it into your new file, you can create a outlet in where we'll be able to call the actual button. This is the only downside of using storyboards. I mean, there are a few other things as customization and working full with code. So let's just call this our sign in button, and then we'll do the same thing with our sign up. I'm not going to add in the label, as we're not going to be doing anything in this tutorial with it. All right. And then I'm going to add in 2 more. I'm going to add in actions. They are like outlets, except they allow you to do something, like on a button. If you click on it, it'll allow you to do something. So let's call this our sign in button, and then underscore tapped. Perfect. And then we'll do that one more time with our sign up button. Sign up button tapped. Perfect. Now for this video or tutorial, we'll be using segs. So we'll be calling our segs based on what is clicked. So if you click on that connector from our welcome to our sign in or welcome to sign up, you can go here on the right, click on our storyboard seg, and we're going to add an identifier. We'll just call this our sign in seg. And you can copy that, go into the sign in button, and then do self.perform seg. Make sure this is a string, paste in that seg, and then we don't need any sender. And we'll be doing the exact same thing with our sign up. We're just creating a seg for from our welcome to our sign up. That way we can just quickly do some navigation, and we don't have to call our view controllers. Perfect. All right. So we can test this right now. Let's just run it, build and run. And perfect. We've got our view set up. Now if we click on one of the buttons, we go back and forth with our navigation controllers. This is looking pretty good. The only thing is, of course, this doesn't have any borders. This isn't, and they don't have any corner radius. We'll get into that in a second. One thing to mention, if you are building with your iPhone 11 or a certain phone, make sure you're running that. If you don't have constraints, it will get funky with different device sizes. So let's just stop building. We'll move all of this up. This can just be moved up to Got a pretty slow computer right now. What's going on? All right, let's go 100 pixels height. We'll put that all the way at the top. Just like this, we'll go 100. Put that all the way at the top. Oh, right below the navigation controller. Just like these, we will move all the way up. Of course, you can space it out, make it look nice. I am just going to build this and make sure it works. So we got our view controller set up. Let's quickly do the same thing that we did with our welcome into our sign in and then our sign up. Perfect. So we'll just grab that. We'll call this our email field. Again, you just hold control and then drag out into our view, and we'll call this password field. And then since we want to design and style up our button a bit, we'll also call in that sign in button. Perfect. And then since after we click that button, we do need to sign in the user. So we'll have a sign in button tapped and perfect. All right, now let's do the same exact thing again, except with our sign up. As you see, this is very time consuming, especially with storyboards. And this is actually going to be our full name field, or we can just call it name field. We should adjust that placeholder to say name field. That is my bad. We'll just call this name. Then we'll have our email field. And now for our password field, call in that sign up button. Sign up button. And then last thing, sign up button tapped. Perfect. All right. Now, so where is the user going to go after they sign up and they sign in? That is the view controller that we are going to create over here. This will just be a nice little welcome. We can just create it real quickly. We'll just have a view controller, and it could say something like welcome or something like that. So if we go in here, probably should click right here and then type in view controller. Make sure you click on the left panel if you have your views opened up just like mine. Again, we could just create, we'll embed this into a navigation. That way we can add in a logout button at the top. Embedded, perfect. And now we're going to do the same thing that we did with our welcome into our sign in and sign up. We're going to just connect them into a seg. We're going to show. We will call this our user signed in seg. All right. And then we'll do the same thing, self.perform seg. And then nil for the sender. We did that. This will be our signed up, since we're in the signed up view right now. So do the same thing for the signed up, which is on the bottom. Don't mean to confuse you. Make sure to smash that like button as well. We have not been too hot on posting lately, and we're just going to get started here back into it. All right, so self.perform seg, if it can load up, perfect, and then nil, boom. So now when you click that button, it'll just take you right away to the welcome. Let's just add in a welcome here and let the user know they are signed in. We may add on to this and make this an actual full functioning app over the time period of this YouTube channel. We'll come in. We'll just edit it over here. Welcome in user. we most likely will make this an app where we'll focus on just the basic Firebase functionality, and then getting it to be something that could be a product out into the real world and soon. So make sure you check out all the links in the description. I have everything there for you guys. If you need any help, contact me through my socials or in the comments. I'll be glad to help out. Thanks for watching.